Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're here, I know one thing about you. You want to speak English more fluently. And not just someday. You want to improve quickly, in a way that feels real and practical. But here's the big question. How do you do it? How do you actually build fluency without spending endless hours with grammar books or memorizing long lists of words? The answer is simpler than you think. It's not about working harder. It's about building small, consistent habits. Habits that take only minutes each day, but when repeated, create massive improvements over time. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the simple English habits that helped me build fluency fast. These are not complicated strategies. You don't need expensive classes or heavy textbooks. What you need are daily routines, little actions that keep your English growing naturally. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll not only know the habits, but also how to put them into your own life starting today. Let's get started. Part 1. Why habits matter more than hard work. Before we talk about the habits themselves, let's take a moment to understand why habits are so powerful. When most people think about learning English, they imagine big efforts. Studying for hours, cramming vocabulary, memorizing grammar rules. But the truth is, this intense study approach rarely works for long. Why? Because it's not sustainable. You get tired, you lose motivation, and eventually you stop. Habits solve this problem. Habits are small actions you do consistently, almost without thinking. And over time, habits build skill automatically. Think of brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation, you just do it every day. Now imagine English being like that. Imagine practicing every day without stress, without big effort, just as part of your routine. That's how fluency builds fast. So now, let's break down the exact habits that worked for me. Part 2. Daily listening, train your ear. The first habit is daily listening. Fluency is not just about speaking. It starts with listening. When you train your ears to hear English every day, you begin to understand natural rhythm, pronunciation, and expressions. Here's how I did it. I listened to English podcasts while commuting. I played English music while exercising. I watched short videos in English while eating. I didn't pause every few seconds. I didn't try to translate everything. I just listened naturally. At first, I only understood 20 or 30%. But over time, my brain adapted. I started hearing whole sentences. Words that once sounded fast and blurry became clear. Listening every day, even just 10 minutes, built my understanding faster than any textbook exercise. Part 3. Thinking in English, a silent habit. The second habit is thinking in English. You might not realize it, but the way you think affects the way you speak. If you always think in your native language and translate, you'll always be slow. But if you practice thinking directly in English, your speaking becomes faster and more natural. Here's how I practiced this habit. I described what I was doing. I'm cooking rice. I'm walking to the shop. I asked myself small questions. What do I need today? What should I eat for dinner? I replayed conversations in English in my mind. At first, it was difficult. My mind wanted to switch back to my native language. But the more I practiced, the easier it became. Eventually, English started to feel like a natural part of my thoughts. This habit doesn't require any extra time. You can do it while walking, eating, or even lying in bed. But the impact on fluency is huge. Part 4. Speaking small sentences every day. The third habit is speaking, yes, every single day. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't have anyone to practice with. That's okay. You can still speak, even if it's just to yourself. When I started, I would talk to myself in front of the mirror. I would describe my day, practice introducing myself, or even tell small stories. The key is not length, but consistency. Even 2 or 3 minutes of speaking daily is powerful. Your mouth and brain begin to work together. Your pronunciation improves. Your confidence grows. Later, I joined online language exchanges to speak with real people. But even before that, the daily self-practice made me more ready and less afraid. Part 5. A daily journal writing to learn. Another simple but powerful habit is keeping a daily English journal. Every night, I wrote just 3 to 5 sentences about my day. For example, today I met my friend. We talked about work. I felt tired, but I listened to a podcast in English. At first, my sentences were simple and full of mistakes. But over time, I improved. I started experimenting with new words. I tried different tenses. I became more confident with grammar naturally. This habit has 2 benefits. It improves your writing, and it gives you a record of your progress. After a few months, you can look back and see how far you've come. Part 6. Learning vocabulary in context. One of the biggest mistakes I used to make was memorizing vocabulary lists. I would write down 50 words, try to memorize them, and forget them a week later. The habit that changed everything was learning vocabulary in context. Here's how I did it. Instead of memorizing random words, I learned words from shows, books, or conversations. I wrote new words in sentences, not just single words. I reviewed them by using them in my journal or speaking practice. For example, instead of just learning the word challenge, I would write, "Learning English is a challenge, but it's fun." By seeing words in context, I remembered them longer and used them more naturally. Part 7. Surrounding myself with English. Another habit was creating an English environment around me. I changed my phone settings to English. I followed English-speaking accounts on social media. I watched movies with English subtitles. These small changes made English a natural part of my daily environment. I wasn't just studying, it was everywhere. And because of that, I absorbed more without effort. Part 8. Celebrating small wins. A very important habit that most people forget is celebrating progress. In the past, I only focused on my mistakes. I felt frustrated when I didn't understand or when I spoke slowly. But that only discouraged me. So I created a new habit, celebrating small wins. If I understood one extra sentence in a podcast, I celebrated. If I spoke for 5 minutes without freezing, I celebrated. If I wrote in my journal without checking the dictionary, I celebrated. This positive mindset made me excited to continue. Motivation became natural. Part 9. Consistency over intensity. Now, I need to share something very important. The key to fluency is not intensity, it's consistency. You don't need to study for 3 hours in one day. You need to practice for 15 to 30 minutes every day. Small habits, repeated daily, build fluency much faster than rare, long sessions. Think of it like exercise. If you go to the gym for 5 hours once a month, you won't see results. But if you exercise for 20 minutes every day, your body changes. Language learning works the same way. So don't push too hard. Just stay consistent. Part 10. The results of my habits. After practicing these habits for several months, I noticed big changes. I could understand movies and podcasts more easily. I could write longer journal entries without translation. I could speak more confidently in conversations. And the best part? I didn't feel stressed or overworked. These habits were simple, enjoyable, and realistic. Part 11. How you can start today. Now, you might be wondering, how can I start building these habits today? Here's my advice. Choose just 2 or 3 habits from this list. Practice them daily for the next 30 days. Keep it simple and fun. Don't pressure yourself. After 30 days, add another habit. Step by step, you'll create a lifestyle where English is natural. Conclusion, final message. So, what's the secret to building fluency fast? It's not long hours of study. It's not memorizing thousands of words. The real secret is simple English habits practiced daily. Listen every day. Think in English. Speak small sentences. Keep a journal. Learn words in context. Surround yourself with the language. Celebrate your progress. And most importantly, stay consistent. If you do these things, your fluency will grow faster than you expect. Thank you for watching, my friends. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll never miss more tips on learning English naturally and effectively. I'll see you in the next video.